Good morning. I'm your host, Marcus Johnson. This is TST Radio. We're going to go and get started into the show today. First of all, I want to say I'm sorry for the inconvenience on yesterday. The show was canceled on yesterday. I was kind of under the weather. I wasn't feeling good. But like I said, we're back today, regular time. So we're going to get started. We're going to start with some high school football. We have the new 6A top 10 in today. Coming in at number 1 is Blunt. Coming in at number 2 is Hillcrest Tuscaloosa. Coming in at 3 is Opelika. Coming in at 4 is Gardendale. Coming in at 5 is Spanish Park. Coming in at number 6 is Park Crossing. Park Crossing will be hosting Russell County tonight at 7 p.m. at Crampton Bowl. So if you're free, get out there tonight and support those guys. Oxford coming in at number 7. At number 8 is Minor. At number 9 is Ramsey. At number 10 is Hartselle. So that's your top 10 for this week 6A football. If your team is in that top 10, congrats. If it's not, hopefully they can fight back and get in that top 10 before the playoffs so they can get in the playoffs. But we're going to move on. We're going to get into some college football. We have some good matchups this week. First matchup I want to get into is Georgia and Missouri. Georgia's coming in as a favorite in this game, a small favorite, may I say. Jason Easton is 19 for 32, 335 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception with 59.4 completion percentage for the season. On the other side, Drew Lock for Missouri has a 53.4 completion percentage for 730 yards and 6 touchdowns. He has the most yards in the SEC right now. Drew Lock. Georgia came off a game last week struggling against Nichols. Easton had a 55% completion rating, 204 yards with 1 touchdown. Even though his stats were subpar, but there wasn't enough to get a convincing win to let us know that Georgia is going to be a top team in the SEC. They're really slacking right now under Kirby Smart. But Drew Lock is coming off a game where he had a very, very, very good outing. 64.9 completion percentage for 450 yards with 5 touchdowns. Lock hit some very big plays last week. And there were some talented receivers on his team. They took some screens to the house. Ray Wingo is one of those talented receivers. Wingo was targeted 10 times, caught 9 of them. He averaged 41.7 yards per catch, had 125 yards with 1 touchdown. Missouri loves to get the ball to Wingo in space with quick screen sort type plays. But he can get downfield and stretch your defense with your corner. So that's a player to look for Missouri. Other side, Bulldogs, they have a very talented receiver in Isaiah McKenzie, which is very, very explosive. Also, look for Easton to target him a lot more this game. He made some big plays on last game, but Georgia will still need more production from him for them to get the W against Missouri. I don't think what he did last week is enough to beat Missouri's high-power offense. So they would need to get more production out of him. LSU versus Mississippi State is also this weekend. LSU is coming in as a big favorite over the Bulldogs with an 86.4% chance of winning. Les Miles is yet to publicly announce a starting quarterback for this weekend, but all signs are pointing to Danny Etling after Brandon Harris was benched last week after a bad outing with 25 completion percentage, 8 yards and 0 touchdowns. Danny Etling, entered the game, went 42.9 completion percentage with 100 yards and 1 touchdown. Even though his completion percentage wasn't so high, but the most important thing I think is that he got the ball in the end zone. That was something that Harris seemed to struggle to do the first 2 weeks of the season. Look for their receiver Doyle to have a big game. I think the Tigers will target him a lot more this game, even though he's coming off a terrible outing last week. He finished with only 5 yards receiving on last week. So look for them to target him a lot more. Look for him to be more active in their offense and make some big plays for him for LSU. On the other side, Mississippi State will probably more likely go with Nick Fitzgerald this week. He's coming off a good outing also, 65.5 completion percentage with 178 yards, 2 touchdowns. The Bulldogs are still struggling to replace Dak Prescott, but Fitzgerald leads his team also in rushing with 206 yards. So he's producing, but it will be interesting to see if he could live up to the expectations of Dak Prescott, replacing Dak Prescott. Donald Gray and Fred Ross are two receivers that Mississippi State offense features. Ross has 11 receptions, 73 yards, 1 touchdown. Will look to have his breakout game of the season with Gray, which leads the team with only 93 in receiving yards. So them two will look to have big games this week and get their season started off very good with a win over LSU. That would be a good win for Mississippi State after they started slow. Also, they lost to South Alabama the first game of the season. So beating LSU will get them bounced back and have a lot more confidence. So that would be a very good confidence game. To move to the NFL, tonight we have the Jets and the Bills going at it tonight, Thursday Night Football. The Jets is coming off a loss to the Bengals on last week. Matt Forte was pretty much all of their offense. The Jets last week, the Jets came in and gave Forte 22 carries for 96 yards, 5 receptions with 59 yards. Fitzpatrick, he went 19 for 35 with 189 yards. Look for more players to step up this week for the Jets, like Eric Decker and Brandon Marshall. They will need them to be very productive to get this win over the Bills tonight, which is going to be a very tough win for the Jets. The Bills are coming in as a big favorite in this game tonight. The starting quarterback, Taylor, he's coming off a good start, 15 for 22 with 111 yards on last game. Players that the Bills will need to shine tonight will be Sammy Watkins and McCoy. Both had mediocre games on last week. Look for them to turn it up a notch this game. I think they will turn it up a notch. I think Eric Decker will have at least 10 plus catches. Brandon Marshall will be targeted at least 10 times this weekend. Well, tonight, I'm sorry. So I think they will have a lot more production out of those guys. So look for them to turn it up a notch. Look for them to turn it up a notch. So some quick updates that I came across that I figured that you would be interested in. Atlanta Falcons has signed a former Alabama quarterback to their practice squad as a running back, Blake Sims. I think that's very good for Blake. I've heard that he has a very good work ethic. He has a undeniable drive. So that's great for him. I'm glad to see that he's finally got signed to a team. Hopefully he can work hard and get off the practice squad and get in some playing time on the field on Sundays. Another player, DeAndre White, former Alabama receiver, was signed to the Patriots on yesterday. So that's a good look for him also. Maybe he can be very productive for the Patriots and help them have a good season this year. Tennessee named Colton Jumper as a replacement for Darren Kirkland Jr. Kirkland was injured on last week. He hurt his left ankle. He's their middle linebacker. So Colton Jumper will be replacing him. That was a very big loss for Tennessee. They were already struggling. They kind of turned it around on last week. They went up against when they played in the game on last week. They kind of made a little progress, but that's a big loss for them to for their defense. And we're gonna get into some more NFL. Week 2 NFL power rankings. I have those for you here. I have the top 20. Green Bay is coming in at number 1. Patriots is coming in at number 2. Seahawks coming in at 3. Steelers coming in at 4. Cardinals coming in at 5. Panthers coming in at 6. Texans coming in at 7. Broncos coming in at 8. Bengals coming in at 9. Raiders coming in at 10. Chiefs coming in at 11. Vikings coming in at 12. Ravens at 13. Buccaneers at 14. Jets at 15. Giants at 16. Look for my Giants to be a little higher by week 8. Look out for my Giants now. Look out for my Giants. Don't sleep on this. Eli gonna get him one more before he retire. But look out for the Redskins coming in at 17. Cowboys coming in at 18. Colts coming in at 19. And the Eagles is coming in at 20. That is your NFL Week 2 power rankings. Also on Tuesday, like I reported, we was going to be out at Lagoon Park for slow pitch co-ed softball league. We was out there. We had a very good time, very good crowd was there. I do have highlights on my page. You should go check them out at True Sports Talk on Facebook. You can find them in our. You can find the highlights also in our group page at TST Game Day fan page, and is on my personal page at Marcus Darrell Johnson. So you should go check that out, and hopefully I will see you out there next Tuesday, so we can you can enjoy those games. Those are some very good games out there. Like I said, very good crowd. They have good food in the concessions, so you should come on out there and enjoy the sports. Softball, slow pitch softball. So you should come out there and support those guys, have some fun, a lot of engaging with the other players, and a little trash talk. It's always good to have a little trash talk. A lot of competition out there, a lot of competition. There's a lot of talent out there also. So if you'd like to watch slow pitch softball, you should come out to Lagoon Park. The game's kicks off at 6:20. I think the last one be like 8:20 or 9:20. So next Tuesday I'll be looking to see you out there. Maybe you can get on some pictures. I can get some pictures and some highlights. And we're gonna be doing highlights also. So we will have videos from every week. So if you can't make it out, just stop by my page and you can check out the highlights. So do that. Like I said, this weekend, some great matchups coming up. College football, I know it's going to be some tailgate parties going on, so make sure you hit me up. Let me know what y'all got planned, and I'll be sure to drop through, and maybe we can have a good time and enjoy each other. I know Auburn is playing Texas A&M. They're going to be a good game for them. I know the fans are excited about that. Alabama, we be going up against Ole Miss. Ole Miss on a 2-year win streak, so that's a high anticipated game for everyone. So those are some games that I know everybody's going to be tuned into on this week. I know Florida State, they will be going up against Louisville. That's a high anticipated game also. Ohio State will be going up against Oklahoma. So go check out the for those matchups. I had list some stats and odds and stuff like that for those matchups. You can go out and check the podcast from the 13th. I think it was. I think it was the 13th, where you can hear the comparisons of the teams and all that good stuff. So go ahead and check that out. But that is my time for the day. Like I said, I am Marcus Johnson, your host of TST Radio. Make sure you go follow us on all of our social media sites. Thank you for tuning in. That is my time for today, and we're out.